It has stood at the corner of First and Main in downtown Dayton, Ohio, for 150 years. It withstood 2 fires and the most devastating flood in Dayton history.
It has held the community together. It's an escape. It's a place to come to meet up with your friends and share your hardships and your love all in one area and escape what's going on around you.
Since its early years, it has been the cultural center of this community. The name changed as the community and theater reinvented itself. Turner Opera House, Music Hall, Grand Opera House, Victoria Opera House, The Victory, and Victoria Theater. It is the home of the first film to be shown in Dayton and known as the Disney Theater because it hosted so many classic Disney films in the 60s. It played a pivotal role in the life of many local performing arts organizations, including the Dayton Philharmonic, Dayton Opera, Dayton Contemporary Dance Company, and especially Dayton Ballet. In the 70s, as it became harder to make ends meet, the theater became the place to be for night owls, with midnight movies and rock shows.
I remember letting out a ballet one night, and they walked outside, and there were 1,200 kids waiting to get into the midnight movies. And they were all rock and roll, jeans torn up, and out come the ballet people, and they were, I think, frightened of the whole, all these people and these kids, and you know. So that was very symbolic to me of the two things that we were trying to balance at that time.
With ever-increasing costs, after 110 years, the threat of demolition loomed.
I was convinced that if we ever padlocked the building, we would never get it open again.
I knew John Keyes, and I called him up and I said, John, you know, what would it take to save a theater? He said, well, if you can raise enough money to pay the back DP&L bill, which was about $900 at the time, I'll give you guys a shot.
We were never sure that it could be done. It always seemed like a long shot.
And Dayton and surrounding communities showed that they were not going to let it be destroyed.
I just absolutely fell in love with the theater and all the possibilities, you know, and all the potential, and a lot of other people felt that way. It really was emotional reaction within Dayton. It was really a grassroots movement.
Save the Victory was born. Through press coverage and generous donors of all kinds, there was enough money raised to keep the doors open and begin initial restoration work. Volunteers put in long hours to make it happen.
Kids were dropping quarters in and bringing their jar of pennies down. Somehow this place meant a lot to a lot of people.
I'm very proud of the fact that we, and a whole lot of volunteers, there were hundreds of people, saved it.
A live theater season was launched, and classic films were brought back. Fundraising continued in earnest, and in 1988, the theater closes for a $17.5 million renovation. With the renovation complete, the newly renamed Victoria Theater opened in 1990. From then on, the theater has continued to be in the memory-making business.
I think the legacy is enormous, and newcomers to Dayton don't know the story about the saving of the Victory, but I really think that was the beginning of the arts core downtown.
If it were not for the strong arts and cultural community that we have in this area, that we would not have been as successful as we have now.
The Victoria Theater is truly alive and kicking, celebrating 150 years of great entertainment in downtown Dayton.